Hello there my friends on YouTube. I figured I would want to make a transformation video, or more or less a little bit story time about how did I get into lifting and what was my history with weight training and how did I get on the stage. I don't know what these videos are called. I'll start when I was a little kid. I've always been a very active kid. I played volleyball, I played soccer, I was in a swim club. I quit most other sports at a certain age and really focused on swimming. I've been very active in swimming, and I was competitively swimming races up until again age like 15, 16, which is when I quit in high school due to many other factors that were consuming my time more or less, and I wanted to focus on my studies. I quit swimming competitively, and then I basically quit completely due to like all the emotions that were involved with swimming for me. And at this point I didn't really have a sport to come back to. I didn't do any sports for a certain amount of time. Looking back, it was the worst thing I could have done. It was a big mistake, but at this point I was just over having a training, morning and evening training, and I just wanted to spend some time with friends and go out and party. Age 15, 16, you know how that is. You're in puberty and you just want to spend time with friends. Because I've met some people that did horseback riding, which I totally fell in love with, of course, and I did a few years of horseback riding, basically until I left Switzerland for the United States. I picked up swimming and soccer again in the US, which was very typical American sports, and it was a lot of fun. It was group activity. I met some new friends in college there. But when I came back from the United States, I didn't have that, and I didn't have my horse, because when I left, someone else took it over. So I was once again without a sport and an activity to do, and started studying, and I was completely taken over by studies, and my focus was very somewhere else. So not doing any physical activity wasn't big of a deal at that point. I was not overweight. I was a little heavier than when I left for the US, but basically I was flexible. I was active. I was skiing, I was snowboarding in winter, out and do some stuff like climbing for fun. But I did have some body image issues, which I think most girls have at this age of, I was probably around age 18, so nothing that was concerning for my parents or for myself. Fast forward to 3 years ago, I was in university. I just started my second year. The amazing thing about my university is there is a huge selection of physical activities, sports and gym that you can join for free at all times, like from 5:30 a.m. to 10 p.m. There's classes you can just pick in, you can choose it, you can go. You don't have to sign up, you don't have to be there, you don't have to be registered. It is amazing. It is so good, so great. Third semester I met some girls that did some body art classes, I believe, or body combat. I'm not really sure what it was. But they dragged me along, and I hated it because it was boring and it wasn't my kind of physical activity. But I got hooked on the idea of like getting back into the swing of doing something more than just mental work. So I went back for myself very regularly. I don't remember exactly, to be honest, what I did, but I know I did cardio. I did lots of cardio because that got me sweating, and I've always been an endurance athlete back from my swimming days, and endurance work was what to me felt like activity and sports. I hated the gym. I hated people that went and lifted weights. It reminds me that when we were in the United States, there was a Gold's Gym nearby. Rockwell Place Gold's Gym in Rockwell, Maryland, and they would have a open day and a 1 month free pass, which we went there to the open day, and we walked in and we did that 1 month free, and I only was there once during the open day. I never went back. I hated it. I hated the idea of people lifting weights. I found that it was stupid. Like, there's so much more you can do with your body, like in a team, and being actually active and competitive, because I've been a competitive person all my life from swimming. So why would you go and lift weights with no actual purpose? I'm laughing at myself at this point because it's hilarious. So I would just go to the gym in 2012, doing cardio and picking up some classes. Remember, I did body pump and HIIT, and like these HIIT plyo classes and CRX works classes. But I remember it was the body pump, which is where you have a lighter barbell that you load and unload with weight plates to do certain things like squats and deadlifts and overhead press and bench, but like very lightweight, very high rep. But it kind of made me like lifting weights a little more than previously. So I enjoyed being strong. I've always been the biggest, I've always been the tallest, I've always been a strong kid. So that was very much where I felt that is me. Like, I'm better than most of these girls in here in my classroom. I'm stronger, I can do more reps, I can do higher weights. And that really lit up that competitive fire in me, even though I had no idea what like lifting weights and bodybuilding was a competitive sport at this point. That was December 2012, and in the next following year, 2013, I transitioned from just taking classes and cardio into kind of lifting weights. I researched a lot. I remember I spent hours on bodybuilding.com and many other pages. I read magazines. I wrote down my training into a split training, actually. Because if I'm doing something, I'm doing it 120%. So that's what I did. I focused, I read about nutrition, I kind of switched my nutrition. I'm not saying it was a good way, the way I did it, but I did. I did everything fitness at this point. I went to the gym about 5 times a week. I did cardio, I lifted weights. I was making so many newbie gains, obviously. I got so much stronger. I've never been the 1 or 2 pound dumbbell curler girl, because I wanted to go all or nothing. So I was training heavy from the very beginning. I've been training heavy. I squatted, I deadlifted very much. I was so focused, I was very disciplined. I think I was so disciplined so quickly that it kind of scared my parents, because I was very obsessed with the idea of gym and everything, and eating healthy and clean, and kind of like what lots of people are going through at the beginning of their fitness journey. But I liked it, and I felt good, and I lost some weight, and I gained a lot of muscle. And I was happy. It was in summer 2013 when I was still researching and all, and I found out about competitions, and I actually found that there is competitions in Switzerland where I live, because bodybuilding here is not very common, or it didn't used to be. It is now becoming more and more common, which is a great thing, but back then it wasn't big of a deal. And when I found out that there was competitions held here, I was very ecstatic. I researched about coaches, and I actually contacted one coach. So we met up in summer 2013, and we only have a fall season here, which is October competitions. We don't have spring competitions, or we didn't have back then. So we met in summer, let's say June 2013 when we met, and I was very convinced I want to do bikini, obviously. So I went there, we talked a little about how I've been training, my nutrition, and I told her that I want to start bikini. And funny story how, so I got, I undressed so she could look at my body type, and she's like, you do want to, you say you want to do bikini? And I'm like, yeah, or yes, because I don't want to be too muscular, you know, like the standard. And she's like, can you do, like, pop your shoulders up a little bit? and just hold it like that. And I had no idea about figure and anything. So I was like standing there very crotched probably and very uncomfortable, and I didn't know why she made me do that. So I stayed there like this, and she's like, yeah, I don't see you in bikini, I'm sorry. Like, I can size you down into bikini, but that's not where you're gonna get happy. You're a figure girl. And I'm like, no, okay, no, not for me. I'm not gonna do that there. Yeah, she knew back then. I was kind of confused at that point when she said that I was more a figure girl than a bikini girl, and I decided that I want to take some time to think about it. And because it was already like June, July, and the season was, the competitions were in October, and I knew I wouldn't get ready in time healthily. That's what she's told me. So the earliest starting date was 2014 anyway. So we decided to just take some time off and train and eat. And I come back in the beginning of 2014. I went to the Arnold Classics in September 2013, which was my very first competition that I saw people on stage. And I remember I was so hooked. I knew I want to get on that stage one day. First of all, I need to be on a stage, whatever stage it was. But second of all, I want to be on that Arnold stage one day, because that is amazing. This is what I want to do. And I started with a coach in January 2014. These coaches are from the Netherlands, and they were amazing. Like, I made a lot of progress at this point. I lost body fat, but I gained muscle, but I'm on very high calories, and it was all in all, it was very great. We went to the FIBO in April 2014, which is another very great experience for me, to see all the pros and get hooked and motivated and pushed even harder. And at this point, I think in April, it was 2014, when I decided, like, I do want to compete for sure. Like, I picked this dream of competing back up, but very clear-minded when it comes to decisions like that. I knew that realistically, I have to have a job, a good paid job, because it's expensive. I have to have my studies done, because I don't want to be in my final home stretch for my degree during competition prep, because I knew it was going to be exhausting and a lot of time and time consuming. And I also kind of knew that I wanted to move out from my parents' place for when I was prepping, because I wanted to have my focus on everything else. That, like, I need my own space. So these were three factors. Two of them were very important to me at that point, and I'm really glad I stuck with them. At the end of 2014, I went back to the coach that I met 2 years ago. We met again. She looked at me, and I told her, I want to do figure. I remember you told me I was figure. I do want to do figure. I'm in love with figure. This is where my heart is. This is where my heart belongs. And she grinned and she smiled, and she's like, yes, I'm gonna prep you for a figure stage. You have a lot of work to do, girl. You have a lot of body fat to lose, but you're gonna make it work. I know you're driven. You're the person to do that, and you have the shape for a figure girl. I'm gonna prep you, but you have to put in the fucking work. And I was so determined, and we started off together in January 2015. I had my job, my degree, my bachelor's degree. The only thing that was left was moving out. So I moved out in April I think it was. Everything laid out perfectly as I had always imagined to start competition prep in May of this year, 2015. I officially started prep in May, and I started prepping. It went all great. It was amazing. I loved it. It was tough, of course, but you know the story if you follow me on Instagram or if you watch my previous videos. But let me be clear at this point. It was everything perfect. Everything was just as I had imagined and I wanted it to be. And as amazing as it was before, there was lots of crap that came towards me and that I had to overcome at this point during competition prep and dieting. I lost family members. I had funerals to attend. I had family tragedies other than that. And I also had a relationship breakdown with my former boyfriend at that time, and had to handle this during my last weeks of competition prep. But let me tell you one thing, whatever doesn't tear you down, it only makes you stronger. And it's cliche, but it really worked at that point, because I was like doubting myself obviously during that time. I had no one here. I was like living in my apartment all by myself. My family wasn't here. They live further away, so it was like fighting me against me. And I stepped on stage October 10th for the very first time, and I walked away with a second place. And I stepped a second time on stage 2 weeks later at Swiss Nationals, walking away with another second place. And I was like, I don't know, there's like no words for the feeling that I had up there, and how much I enjoyed and how much I loved being up there. Like, I had never imagined I would actually do it. I was like, I always knew that I'm just gonna go and prep, and I may or may not step on stage. So yeah, we are now like about 4 weeks post second show, and I'm already planning my 2016 in my head, and my competitions, and my goals are to, first of all, get back on these 2 stages and win first place in both categories, obviously, because I want a Swiss championship title. But I also really want to compete internationally in the following year, if that works. If my body is ready, I really want to go and do some international competitions next time around. So, but whatever we are focusing on right now, it's November, end of November. I will be traveling to the US, the Caribbean cruise, and Miami and New York City in December up until January. Actual planning for 2016 come February next year, and we'll then decide what shows we're going to do when we start prep, the way we're prepping. So everything is still in my mind. It's all still very cloudy, but I know that I want to step on stage again. I know I will step on stage again. I know I will be better, I will be stronger, I will bring a better package, and I'm already very, very excited to do that. So, and I'm also knowing that right now I need to build. Because I want to be bigger, obviously, and I want to be more symmetrical, and I want to just build my flaws up and bring a better package for whatever is coming in around 45 to 50 weeks from now. This is, I think, about the entire story, and this video is probably very long because I've been rambling. If you have any questions, there's a box right there where you can put in your questions, and I'll really obviously try to answer them. If you don't follow me already on Instagram, I'll link it down here, my Instagram, where you can see like live, more regular pictures. Please like this video, give it a thumbs up, and subscribe to my channel for more videos to come. And thank you very much for watching this very long rambling video. I really appreciate all your support. Love you very, very much. Thank you so much. Bye.